Hey, have you ever found yourself where you start something, you're super excited, and all of a sudden you stopped? Or when you heard about it, you felt like you got your mojo, but when it was time to do it, you didn't feel like it. That's what we're going to get in today on TC Talks. Let's get into it.
We got the passion, we got the drive. Regular people living real lives. And this is TC Talks. This is TC Talks. This is TC Talks. And this is TC Talks.
Hey, what's up, everybody? And welcome to another episode 6 of TC Talks. I'm TC. Welcome to the conversation. If you have not already, I want you to subscribe to the tribe. That's right, the TC Tribe. Just hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and every time we go live, you will be the first one notified of fresh content that drops on the channel. We appreciate having you today. Man, as always, it's a great day and I have no complaints. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're returning, welcome. We're glad that you're hanging out with us today. Again, this is where regular people live in real lives. And TC, I'm a regular person, just living a real life. And today we just gonna converse. Episode 6, we're gonna get into this conversation today, man. You know what it is? When the moment turns into movement. When the moment becomes movement. As I said earlier, have you ever went to like a conference, or you was watching a show, or you was doing some self-development, professional development, and you were inspired and you were motivated and you like, man, you know what? I'm getting ready to just take the world by storm. I'm getting ready to do this. And then when you got ready to do it, you're like, man, I don't feel like doing that. Or you started and you like, the mojo just went out the window. You're like, man, I get to it. You know, just like my first episode when I was talking about my weight loss, I can go ahead and tell you, man, every day you're not going to feel it. You're not going to feel it at all. That's why you got to make sure that your why is greater than your what. Because if you're just doing it for the what, I'm telling you, you will find yourself asking the question, what in the world am I doing? I'm sorry, y'all. I got the giggles, man. It's okay. It's all right to laugh, man. You know, they say laughter is like medicine. You know, if you're feeling a little down and out, man, find something funny and get you laughing, man. It keeps you young, keeps you looking young, keeps you feeling good, man. So it's good stuff. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that because I've been there. I've done that. I've got the T-shirt. And of course, I'm nobody special. So if it's happened to me, I know also it has happened to you too. I mean, you hear the information, you hear the presentation, or you're watching the video, you go to the conference, or, you know, you get the development program and like, man, you just ready to go. I'm just ready to kick it into gear. Or, you know, watch this. You join a church and you want to be on every volunteer team that there is until you come 3 Sundays in a row and you're like, I don't think ushering is for me. I don't think singing is for me. Man, matter of fact, we're going on vacation next week. Pastor, I'll catch you back in a couple of weeks. Or you start that new job, man, you're excited. You go through the orientation. They give you your ID badge. They give you pins. They just show you where your cubicle or your office or your desk is. And you were excited. And then 3 months into the game, you're like, man, I got to go to work today. What happened to that joy and that excitement and that momentum at the beginning? It's like it's fleeting. It goes out the window. Like, what in the world? Hey, you're not alone. That's why we're here talking about it today here on TC Talks. Because I want you to be able to overcome that obstacle when you get to it. I don't want you to stop just because you don't feel like going on. We're going to get over that, man. We're going to get over that. And you got the ability to do it right now. See, I'm not telling you something that's foreign. I'm not telling you something that you have to go get. I'm not telling you something that, it's got to be such a strong development. You got it in you right now. Sometimes it's just about putting the right pieces in the right places so that you can get the result that you desire. Does that make sense? I sure hope it does, man. Again, I'm just looking forward to having a great conversation. You know what? Oh my God, I ain't even start my clock. Man, let me start my clock. I've been just talking. I told you this is unedited. Let me start my clock so I can keep myself on tap messing with y'all. And yeah, cause I ain't gonna take too much of your time now. I know this. So here on TC Talks, man, like we keeps it real. I got it off an episode of Martin. That's not original, y'all. So I just want to let you know that. But anyway, I got a couple of notes here. I got Google Pixel here just with my notes. You know why I got this Google Pixel? I got it because it takes great pictures, man. Take great. But when I'm productive, when I got to get work done, when I do some wonderful things, I'm Team Apple all day long. This is not sponsored by Apple. It's just my personal opinion. But Apple, if you want to sponsor me, I ain't mad at you. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. When the moment becomes movement, I'm gonna tell you right off the cuff. It takes more than motivation to get the job done. It does. Because you can go to all of the summits, all of the conferences, you can get on all the coaching calls, you can get all the self-help books, you can get all the programs, you can take all the disc profiles you want to know what kind of personality you have, what working type of genes you are. You can do all of that. But if the only thing you have is motivation, I guarantee you won't see too much movement, if any movement at all. It takes more than motivation. It takes inspiration. Those two things are important. And we can't leave that out, but it takes more than that. Because do you know what I call inspiration? It is motivation in the moment. Well, what about when that moment passes? Then where does it go? Where in the world does it go? Well, if yours has left you, hopefully this talk will help you find it. All right, okay, it is. Why, TC, why are you talking about this today? Because I told you, I've been there. I've done that. Y'all remember I told you I went to a boot camp, and I think in an episode or so ago, I went to a boot camp and we had to do PT every day. And one of the worst things that I hate doing was running. What? Oh my God. I hate it with a passion. But the longest I've ever ran in one time was 8 miles, and that was during the boot camp. But we would run about 4 miles once you built up to it. You got in a group that ran 4 miles. We would run about 4 miles every day or every other day. But on the last day before we graduated, the graduation gift to us was to run 8 miles. I was like, what in the world? I said, you trying to be funny. But anyway, man, we running and we running, we running and we running. Mile 1 good. Mile 2 good. Mile 3 we good. Mile 4, we good. Mile 4.5, we starting to hit the tip of the ice. We starting to hit the limit, boy. But by the 5.5 mile, my feet were dragging in them rocks. It felt like my lungs were starting to fight each other, like Oscar De La Hoya and Sugar Ray Leonard. I mean, boy, it was rough on you, boy. I felt like I was about to drop. Because, watch this, I reached the max, I reached the limit. I reached the limit of my momentum that I have built up to the 4 mile point. The reason why we keep losing momentum because we've reached our limit. Well, TC, how do you overcome your limit? You got to get your reps up. You got to keep training. You got to keep moving. So guess what? Well, did you finish the 8 mile? I heard somebody ask that question. Did you finish it? I did. You know what happened? I had no feeling in my body whatsoever that I wanted to go on. But I made up in my mind that I'm not going to stop. My feet got down to like an absolute just shuffle. I wasn't even picking my feet off the ground. But I guess my body fell in line with my mind and said, he ain't going to stop. And I didn't stop. And guess what I caught? I caught my second wind. That's when, watch this, that moment had movement, and I got my momentum, and I kept going, and man, my breathing went normal. I got up pace. Next thing you know, I'm back at the camp calling cadence, breathing normally at the end of 8 miles because my moment caught movement. It was a hard moment. It was a literally almost breathtaking moment, not in a good sense, but I made up my mind. I'm not going to let this stop me. I'm not going to let this defeat me. And I overcame the forces at will in that moment to continue on and have momentum to finish the run. Yeah, so here it is. Watch this. I want to talk to you about, yeah, we're talking about when the moment becomes movement, but I want to talk to you also, it's like a little subtopic if you want to be, is like the momentum that doesn't fade. Now that's more, oh God, the momentum that doesn't fade. Several things can happen or what that we can hear that will cause our momentum to fade. It's just like when you hear some good news and all of a sudden somebody tell you something that's not so good, or you've done something great and then you see something not so great. It's like a text or a tweet or a phone call or a social media post can kill your momentum if you are not careful. Or the opinions of others can kill your momentum if you're not careful. Check this out. Even a past experience can kill your momentum if not careful. Or some people will try to impress upon you their experience. And if not careful, it will kill your momentum. I'm not telling you what I heard, man. I'm telling you absolutely what I know. But I'm giving you something to overcome that. This talk, I hope, turns your tragedy into triumph. Watch this. Turn your loss into a win. Turn your challenge into a championship. Yeah, that's what I want this talk to do for you, man. Yeah, again, you know what we say? Regular people living real lives. Yeah, come on now. I'm not a singer, but I can hold a note and carry it in a bucket every now and then. But yeah, momentum that does not fade. I don't know about you. I used to like roller coasters. I have not ridden roller coasters in a long time. But, you know, I don't want your life to be like a roller coaster, up, down, in and out, up, down, in and out, up, down, in, or loop-de-loops, loop-de-loops. I'm trying to get you off the hamster wheel of life so you can make a difference, so the world can get that gift that you've been carrying since your mother gave birth to you. You owe the world your gift, but you can't lose momentum even while you're developing it or giving it out. Oh my God. Look, you know I love flying, right? So I love flying. Yes, I do. I'm a student of aviation and aeronautics. And I'm telling you, this is a great analogy to show you how to maintain momentum or to have momentum that doesn't fade, or to turn your moment into a long-lasting movement. Because let me say this to you. Nothing multiplies unless it moves. Whew. Nothing multiplies unless it moves. What do you mean by that? Okay, even God shows us this. In the book of Genesis, when he created the heavens and the earth and the sun, the moon, the stars, and the vegetation and the fruit-bearing plants and the seed within itself, all that kind of stuff, the first thing God did was move. First thing God did was move. Well, he talking about God. Yep, I am. I love Jesus, and he loves me. Yep. So I'm gonna tell you, if you will on TC Talks, you're gonna get great conversation in God, because God is the great conversation. Yep. But what I'm telling you, man, it ain't about just church. This ain't just church principles. These are everyday life principles that you can apply in your family, in your business, in education, on your job, with your team. It ain't just about that. So listen, if you can't hear about Jesus, I'm sorry. This probably won't channel the conversation for you, because I got to talk about him, because he's the only reason why I'm here talking to you. Absolutely. But nothing multiplies unless it moves. Everything around us moves. Do you know what movement is indicative of? It's alive. It's alive. Ooh. And anything that's alive grows, it multiplies. So I don't know what you're working on. I don't know what idea you have. I don't know what has already faded to the background. I don't know what's on the back burner of your life. I don't know what has cobwebs in your conscience. But I'm telling you, you got to give it movement. When you give it movement, you give it life. When you give it movement, it begins to multiply. Look, go back to this airplane analogy real quick, man. Listen, I just took a flight not too long ago, but every time before the plane takes off, it has to taxi. It's preparing to overcome a natural force called gravity. Do you know something? It takes no effort to do nothing. It's natural. It's natural. When you look at a farmland, and you see they're planting all types of crops here in North Carolina, you see tobacco, you see cotton, you see corn, you see soybeans. It's a field that has been prepared. But if they did nothing to the field, corn would not grow, tobacco would not grow, soybeans would not grow. The only thing that would grow is weeds. So you don't have to do anything in order for nothing to happen, because it will begin to take over. So in order for the plane to take off, it has to overcome gravity. It has to overcome gravity, because sitting still, gravity is the force that's causing the plane to sit still. Stay with me. I don't want to lose you. Well, how in the world does that big piece of steel take off? Because it creates another force greater than the one holding it. I'm sorry. It creates another force greater than the one holding it. What is that force? It's called thrust. The engines on each side of the plane is pushed to maximum capacity to create a force that overcomes the force of gravity. So now when thrust becomes the greater force of gravity, guess what happens? Movement occurs. So if you are sitting still, then that means that the force that will cause movement or generate movement in your idea or in your business or in your life or in your family, it has to be greater than the thing that's keeping you still and silent. You got to create a thrust in your creativity. You got to create a thrust in your business to overcome the natural law of do nothing or gravity. Because watch this. If you do nothing, failure is absolutely inevitable. It will happen. You don't have to do nothing. The wow will take over. Just like in a farmer's field. You got it? So watch this. So y'all in the car with me? You got your seatbelt on? We riding together? We talking? We conversing? We have a conversation? Cool. It gets good. Watch this. So now that the plane is moving down the runway, because thrust has overcome gravity, the plane has created a force greater than the one that was holding it. So that's now it's moving. Watch this. But it still hadn't lifted off the ground. Now it has to create lift. It has to create lift. And lift overcomes what? Lift overcomes another force called weight. It has to overcome the weight of what it is. I don't know what's holding you down, but first of all, you have to have enough momentum that lift is created to overcome the weight of what you want to see happen, or the weight of your current reality. Let me say it like that. I don't know what the current reality holds. Let me say I don't have enough financial resources, or I don't have enough people on my team, or you don't know my background. I come from abject poverty, or I've never had a model, or I've never had a mentor. I've never had somebody to show me the right way. I'm telling you, once you learn to create the thrust in your life, and what is that? That is the ability to push forward, to overcome the natural thing that's been holding you. I don't know what's been holding you. Maybe it's been holding you for months. Maybe it's been holding you for years, but you got what it takes to break loose from it. You know how I know? I had to do it myself. I had to do it myself. My family lost everything we had when I was in the third grade. But in 2006, I purchased my first home, my wife and I. And then we built another home after that. So guess what? My past had no bearing on what I could do in my future. I just had to make up my mind that I was going to create enough thrust to overcome the gravitas of my past. It ain't going to hold me no more. I'm not going to let my past hold me. I'm not going to let what happened to me hold me, and neither should you. Because there's greater skies for you to climb to. But you just got to have the tenacity, the wherewithal, or the faith to move forward, to create that momentum. And once you're moving fast enough, the force becomes so massive that now it creates lift when the pilot pulls back on the yoke. And guess what the plane begins to do? Lift off. It has overcome the weight and now becomes a flying machine. Can I talk to somebody on TC Talks today? I believe somebody's getting ready to overcome the weight because of this conversation. And you are about to ascend to a new level or another level in life, in business, in family, in your spiritual walk with Jesus. You gonna go higher. I'm telling you, I sense it. But you got to realize that nothing happens until you move. You got what it takes to move. Get to moving. Do it. Do it. Don't let the start stop you. And acknowledge the fear and do it anyway. I just said this. When you live by faith, faith does not deny your current reality. It just determines what you focus on. Faith does not deny your current reality. It just determines what you focus on. So even though, yeah, it existed. Yeah, I went through that. Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't my cup of tea. I acknowledge it, but I ain't focusing on it. It's just the backdrop. It's just a backdrop. Just like you see the sign TC Talks. Yeah, the sign is there. It's just the backdrop. But I'm the focus point. I'm the one that's talking to you. I'm the one that's encouraging you. I'm the one that's inspiring you. I'm the one that's teaching you. I'm the one that's giving you the motivation. Sign is just a backdrop. It ain't saying nothing. It has no power to speak. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Your past has no voice. It's your imagination that gives it word. Did I just say that to myself? Lord, I'm in the studio and I'm trying to tell you, I feel like if I had a crowd right now, they knock over the lights and the camera because what I just said was just worth the whole conversation by itself. So I want to say this. Faith is absolutely necessary. And you got to realize that faith is not a feeling. It's a force. It is a force. And quick scientific equation. I'm not going to try to be so smart in this, but science, that was my favorite subject. Do you know what force is? Force equals mass times acceleration. And you say, well, I had faith in it one time, but I just lost it, due to life circumstances and due to failure after failure. I just lost faith in the whole situation. Can I tell you how not to lose faith in the situation? Not to lose momentum in the situation? Here it is, mass times acceleration. Faith is a force. Like, picture faith as being a mass in your head. The more you rehearse it, the larger the mass becomes. The more you rehearse it, the more often you rehearse it, the more accelerated you rehearse it, the larger the mass of faith becomes. The larger the mass and the more often you rehearse it, the acceleration at which you rehearse it, the mass and the acceleration, now the force of faith becomes greater in your life. And now, just like the plane lifting off, faith is now greater than the fear, and it causes you to move forward. Good gracious of life. What? I'm happy for you. Because I feel you moving right now. Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, faith is the force that generates momentum that overcomes the drag of doubt and the weight of worry. Faith is the force that generates momentum that overcomes the drag of doubt and the weight of worry. This is when the moment becomes a movement. It's not just enough for you just to hear us sit here and talk about it. Like they used to say back in the day in the street, don't just talk about it. You got to be about it. You be it so you can do it. You do it so you can have it. I'm talking about transforming a moment into movement. And you got what it takes. Man, it's been good talking to you today here on episode 6 of TC Talks, when a moment becomes movement. You ain't gonna lose momentum again. You know why? Because you can go back and keep watching this episode. Anytime you feel as if, again, you remember, faith ain't a feeling, it's a force. You put this thing on repeat, and the more you rehearse your faith, the greater the mass of faith in your mind becomes. The greater the mass, the more often you do it. Mass, watch this, times acceleration equals force. And the greater the force, the greater the momentum, the greater velocity, the higher you ascend. And you don't have to come down. No need to. All right, my friends, this is TC on TC Talks. Remember, we're just regular people living real lives. But before I go, remember, live a life so that others can say, now that right there, me and you, that is hope in motion. Have a great day, my friends. Until the next TC Talks. I'll see you soon.